Welcome to Falcon's first episode of Minecraft. I'm going to be starting a new world. I already created it. Looked around a little bit, but not too much. So we're going to load it up and look around. So you can see I already got a little bit of wood. I chopped down one tree, but I haven't actually gone anywhere or really done anything. I was basically, in fact, you can still see the leaves from the tree I chopped down. They haven't gone away yet. So I guess I'll just get a little bit more wood. 5 is probably, I guess, it'd be enough to start out with, but I might as well get more while I'm out here. Now, I will admit, I kind of cheated just a little bit because I haven't, I haven't looked around on this particular version of the map. You saw I had a couple other maps on there on the select thing. One of them was a creative mode of this exact same map. I was actually creating several maps, looking around, trying to find one that looked good. And this was one of them. And I just took the seed and made a new one that I could use multiplayer. So we're gonna go over here, and I guess I'll chop down that wood into planks and make a quick tool or two. Alright, and as I said, I already looked around a little bit on the creative mode and determined that this looks like it's a pretty good spot to start. There's a very large cave system. Ooh, a creeper. And a zombie. Won't deal with them quite yet. But there's a very large cave system underneath this mountain. Goes for quite a ways. I looked around a little bit on the creative mode one. Has lots of little entrances and exits and kinds of interesting stuff. So, should be a pretty good map to start with. I'm actually going to probably build my house inside this mountain someplace. It's a pretty interesting setup. See, there's one of the entrances into the cave. It's a pretty interesting mountain, though, because there's a lot of little valleys and things inside of it, like this one right here. This is not where I'm going to start, though. I guess I should probably go over there and take a look so you all can see it a little bit. It's right over here. Right up there, there's kind of like a little valley. And I think I'm going to put the house up there. I'll show you why when I get up there in a second. It's going to be a little more difficult getting up here than I thought it was going to be. Oop. Alright, forget it. Alright, so I've been watching a lot of Let's Plays for Minecraft for a long time now. They were actually the original inspiration for me to want to do some Let's Plays. Particularly Avidia and Zisto, though Avidia hasn't made any new videos in quite some time. Zisto is still going strong. He's been doing some stuff on Minecraft, which looks really cool. A lot of big name people on there. Maybe one day I'll get on there. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm not a big multiplayer person, though on this it's a little more interesting just because I like to build interesting things with people. And it's just a lot easier if you intend to do larger projects and stuff, to do them with other people. and also just makes it a little more interesting to build stuff in the first place because you have people to share it with. Of course, having a Let's Play also kind of gives some of that too, so maybe I won't need to do that. Anyway, need a little bit of coal. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do the house. This may actually not end up being my final house. I might do a little temporary house here that I might just use for a farm or something later on. But we'll see. I might end up keeping the main house here, but maybe not. The thing I just like about it is it's kind of, in this little protected valley here, mountains, mountainsides all around, and I think it'd just be kind of cool to, carve out on one of these hillsides or cliff sides or whatever. Probably this one, though I know this is filled with a lot of caves. So actually building a house here might be pretty difficult. We'll see. I don't know how hard it'll be to begin with. I actually did not know this particular cave was here. So I have no idea how far it goes. Doesn't look like it goes very far. Sorry if you guys can't see this. I'm not sure how bright this will be on YouTube. What am I doing? There we go. Alright. So maybe I'll set up my temporary, at least my initial little setup. Maybe I'll set it right here. Just kind of as a, temporary little hidey hole. While I do a little bit more exploring and looking around. Now before, when I was on the creative version of this map, I flew around a little bit, get a little bit of an idea of the lay of the land, and I happen to know there's a village not too far away. There's also a jungle not that far away, kind of like in the opposite direction. Like if you had like a four-corner map, the village is kind of like up in that corner. The jungle is over in that corner. There's a swamp beside it, and then kind of all around is desert. There's a lot of desert around here, which would be useful because I can use, get lots and lots of sand to make sandstone and glass and various things. I have an idea for a couple different projects I might do out there in one of the desert areas. A couple different builds, a few desert-themed stuff, as well as just some more general things. I'll hold off on that. I'm trying to fill in holes right now. Alright, let's get some better tools going, because wood stuff sucks so bad. Now I'm not going to do too many tools, just because I know that there's a lot of iron easily accessible fairly close by. So I'm really not going to concern myself too much with any of that quite yet. Now, something I should have done before I came down here. There's some sheep that aren't too far away. I should have killed a couple of them so I can make a bed. Unfortunately, it's getting dark now, So I'm going to probably, even though I probably should just stay in the hidey hole, I'm going to venture out into the woods and risk it. And hopefully get enough. There's an awful lot of sinkholes around too, so I need to be very careful where I'm walking, lest I fall into a very deep, very unpleasant hole. Some of which are plenty far enough to kill me. There's actually one very close to where I am right this second. I didn't show you, as long as I don't get ambushed by something. If I can figure out where it is. I think it's... no, not there. Ah, this one right here. This thing goes almost all the way down to bedrock. It's very deep. And when I eventually decide to go investigate that, that'll take some effort to get down there. Let's see. Be careful jumping on and off these trees, because I don't want to jump right into one of those sinkholes. That would be most unfortunate. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have people asking me, what texture pack are you using? Everyone always asks that on any Let's Play for Minecraft, if the people aren't using the generic textures. I will actually show you specifically what I'm using here in a minute. I have a couple mods running. One of them is Optifine, and I believe Optifine is the one responsible for increasing the various graphic options that are available if you go into the options screen. Including, I can actually change texture packs on the fly if I wanted to. Oh, I actually got more wool than I needed. That's alright. And I'm not really too concerned right now about where I place things, so I'm just going to plop that down, and off we go. Sorry, grabbing a drink. Alright. So, should be daytime. Yes, there's some ninja water here, as a lot of people would put it. I'm not really going to mess with that right now, because it's just a pain to fix it if it updates and floods. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. I will have to come up with a better way in and out of this place later. Especially if I do end up deciding to make this my permanent base. This is interesting. Oop, there goes the picks. Alright. Kind of like a back door. Alright, anyway. Check around, make sure I'm safe. Get over here. Alright. See, if you go into video settings, there's actually a texture pack button right here. That's what I'm using, the LB Photorealism, the 128. Which is a vast improvement over the normal, 16 whatever that Minecraft uses. 16-bit graphic. 16 by 16 textures. One of the HD packs. This is by far my favorite. I like the tone of it. It's very true to the original Minecraft, but it's just looks way better. I also, actually, the reason I have Optifine on here was actually because I was intending to use the GLSL improved shaders. It does work, works quite well. I have a very good computer. In fact, the frames per second actually is completely unchanged. My frames per second actually run minimum of 60 up to I don't know, like 90 frames per second routinely all the time, depending on where I am and what's going on. So I really don't have to worry too much about graphics. Come get some skelly, as Zisto would say. Oh, spider. That's interesting. Do monsters not fight each other anymore? Looks like they don't. It's new. I'll have to do some experiments with that later on or something. It looks like they don't fight each other, because that skeleton definitely shot that zombie a couple times, and the zombie didn't go after him, which is interesting. I'm going to have to definitely do some experiments with that. Because as far as I know, I shouldn't have had to fight that zombie, or that skeleton rather, because that zombie should have killed him. Anyway, I need to eat. This is kind of bad. Always reluctant to use zombie flesh, but at the moment, I don't really care. So I'll just chow down on that, and we'll go with that. The poison hunger or whatever that zombie flesh gives isn't really that big of a deal. Makes you use up your hunger a little bit quicker, but if you kind of just take a chill a little bit until it wears off, it really does pretty much nothing. Alright. Now I'm wondering where that spider is. Ah, there he is. Come down here, spider. It's pretty impressive. He was falling on my face, and I just smacked him off. And there's another one. A lot of creatures in here. Actually, should probably quit doing the caving for 1 second and go out and get some food. But I don't really care. Ooh! Ow! Damn skeleton. Now, I have explored these a little bit, but not very much. They're very windy, twisty, many different ways to go, different passages. So even though I've done some exploring, it really doesn't help me much, because this cave system doesn't really end. It goes for a long ways, up and down, and through the mountain, and out into the woods, and out under the water. And that was the most useless creeper I've ever seen. Just kind of stood there and got whacked.